What's happening, people? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to the Authentic Kings podcast. And on today's episode, we are talking Kendrick Lamar, Euphoria, diss track directed to Drake. My takeaways, my favorite bars. I did a reaction on this song. I'm gonna go ahead and put it at the top right of the screen. If you want to check that out, come back to this. Needless to say, man, I was pretty hype. We waited a little bit for this diss track. Not as long as Drake. I say it was about 17 days in between push-ups and Euphoria. I'm gonna go ahead and just talk a little bit about my favorite bars from that track. Gilly, he had some opinions on the track. Cam, Mace. I'm gonna go ahead and probably get into that first. First starting off with Gilly, I'm a little bit surprised, just given that he's an MC, he's a rapper, that he kind of has to take that he has. I'm gonna go ahead and get into pretty much what he had to say about the Kendrick Lamar diss track. He called it pretty much corny in so many words. So I'm not gonna waste too much more of your time. Let's go ahead and get into that. All right, let's check out Gilly.
I just heard that Kendrick Lamar diss. Kendrick, but what's going on the cob, man? You know what's crazy, man? The lights is winning, man. 3-0, man.
Call it corn on a cob. I don't know, man. If y'all haven't heard Euphoria, check it out or check out my reaction on it. But that's anything but corn on a cob. Kendrick Lamar, he snapped. He went berserk. He did his thing 100%. So I don't know. It's not his conventional style of music. Kendrick, he's a little bit more, I guess, any one of his songs that he dropped could make it on radio. This song right here, Euphoria, it has no intentions whatsoever to be played on the radio. It was strictly to send a message to Drake. And I think it was more like friendly fire. Of course, he said like, hey, man, this is friendly sparring. I think he could have went a little bit harder. I think this is more like a warning shot. But 6 minutes and 30 seconds, that shows like how far this guy could go. So I disagree here.
You know what's crazy, man? The lights is winning, man. 3-0, man. Drake up 2-0. Chris Brown up 1-0. I just take me back. I remember in the late.
I did react to that Chris Brown versus Quavo diss that they had kind of going. It started off with Quavo. He dropped Tinder. Then Chris Brown came with Weakest Link. And then Quavo came with Over H&B. I can't pronounce it, but I did 2 of those 3 on my channel. Go ahead and put that at the top right, at least one of the 2. Chris Brown definitely 100% did body Quavo. But I commend Quavo because his response, it was quick. I think it was within 48 hours. And he did state a lot of things that we kind of knew already, and it's easy to find on the internet. But there was some clever bars in there. And I think it was actually a smart move to put Takeoff on the chorus. So Chris Brown, I do give him the win, but I cannot give Drake the win over Kendrick. I can't. At least not whenever you stack up Euphoria versus Tailor Made or even push-ups. So, and I'm gonna say why later, but let's go ahead and roll this.
Drake up 2-0. Chris Brown up 1-0. I just take me back. I remember in the late 80s, the lights, man, everything up to the late 80s. Nino Brown with very lights. New Jack City, then they had it bad all the way up. Steph Curry and Chris Brown and Klay Thompson and Drake, and now them lights doing what they want, man. Y'all even let Wallow light-skinned ass come home from jail after doing 73 days and win. Light-skinned think they run the world, man. Dark better step your game up, man. For real.
That dude crazy, man. But anyway, it is kind of funny. Like if you listen to the it was Quavo. If you listen to the Quavo diss track, he actually kind of hinted toward like, You know, we got light skin versus dark skin. We about to divide the country type deal because that's really the logic right now with a lot of these people. Chris Brown versus Quavo. You got light and dark. I actually did a short on this. Actually performed kind of well. You got Kendrick versus Drake. So it is kind of like, I guess, the battle between the light skins and dark skins, which, of course, like if you ask plenty of people, light skins are up. But in this beef, I beg to differ. Like that. Kendrick won, and it was just a 16-bar verse, but it ignited the hip-hop community. It really is kind of the cause of all the stuff that's going on right now. Kanye West had to kind of chime in. Rick Ross chimed in. You have Chris versus Quavo. Drake responded. J. Cole came out with that. Lord, came out with a 7-minute drill. But like that, a lot of people have been trying to match the intensity that Like That came with. And personally, I think the one that got the closest was Push-Ups with Drake. But I can't give him the win over that because he is playing on the reactive side of things. Tailor-Made Freestyle, at this point, it was just being petty. It was pushing like, hey, man, poking the bear. Like, hey, say something. Do something. We waiting on you type deal. Which, if you look at the time that Drake dropped Push-Ups compared to Like That, I think it was 21 days, 23 days, something like that. I know it was within that span, 20 plus days. So Kendrick response actually came a lot quicker. Going there, right? Then with Euphoria, that song was 6 minutes and 30 seconds. That's practically 2 songs in one. Push-Ups was about 3 minutes. Tailor-Made Freestyle was about 3 minutes. With Tailor-Made Freestyle, I actually enjoyed that song personally myself. A lot of people thought that the use of AI was corny. Personally, me, I think it was a clever play. You have 2 of Kendrick Lamar's heroes with Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and you're pretty much like using them to poke the bear, like pretty much using a B-Rabbit style of approach, which in Euphoria, I was impressed that Kendrick still went ahead and actually used some bars against Drake, you know, like he made a reference to I make music that electrified him and you make music that pacified him. I don't know if that's word for word how you stated it, but the pacifier reference have to be to the fact that Drake hang around younger people, like as far as younger artists, younger streamers. Allegedly he had something going on with Millie Bobby Brown and I don't know, all that stuff. So they say that Drake kind of hangs around people half his age and all that stuff. That's why I think Kendrick Lamar used that reference as in pacify. But there was a lot of things that even though Drake called it out in Tailor-Made Freestyle that, hey, I'm just letting you know, I already know what you're going to say. It's still impressive that Kendrick still went that route. But anyway, so that's Gillie's take. I kind of disagree with that. I think that Kendrick Lamar definitely won with Euphoria. I think it had a lot of strong bars in it. It was clear and to the point. You don't really have to dissect what he was saying. But whenever you listen back over and over again or read through the lyrics or whatever, you can actually see that Kendrick Lamar had way more punches than a lot of people think that he had. But anyway, I got one more video I want to get into. So for those of y'all that don't know, first of all, shout out to Cam and Mace. Shout out to them. They got a show called It Is What It Is podcast. They mostly talk about sports, but both of those guys, they got their start in the hip hop industry. They are both former rappers. 2 of the best to ever do it. Mace is one of the first biggest stars in hip hop. Whenever he came up with Bad Boy, Mace, he did a lot of special things with Dipset. So curious to see what they got to say. Of course, I seen a little bit of a snippet, but I went ahead and I found a portion of the clip where they're giving their insight on Euphoria. So let's go ahead and roll that.
Yeah.
But our murder was good. Looking good.
Good, man.
Looking good today, man. I'm not saying you don't look good than any other day, pause, but I like the 3-piece. You went 3-piece on them. That's very nice, man. I don't know what murder we getting today. I don't know what's about to happen, but seems like a lesson might be taught.
Nah,
We're just
I was
chilling.
listening to Euphoria today. Made me put on a green suit.
How you felt about that?
Oh man, it was interesting. It was interesting.
Did you like it?
I thought it was cool.
Who's winning? How about that? That's a better question. Who's winning the battle to you right now?
Oh man, Drake is definitely winning from an MC standpoint. You know, it took a while for him to get
From an MC standpoint, I think whenever it comes to the best MCs in hip hop right now, right? You got to think, as far as people's pens, you're thinking J. Cole has an immaculate pen. Of course, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem. And I'm just gonna kind of leave it there. I mean, of course, I could name plenty more. Logic has a good pen, so forth. But the pen work of Drake, you have a guy that allegedly has had ghostwriters. And it's funny that Kendrick Lamar, he actually had a bar directed to that saying that, you're talking about a 20v1, but I'm going to go 1v20 if I got to rap against you and all who write for you. Whenever I first seen that, in my reaction, and I think I made a mistake, I misinterpreted what he said because it was my first time listening to it. I thought he was talking about like people that rap with him like J. Cole or 21 Savage or Sexy Red or whatever, because he has a lot of people that he is in an alliance with that back him and vouch for him and still respect him. But listening back, that reference was directed to the alleged ghostwriters that Drake has. And that's why I think that Drake has quick turnarounds on a lot of his diss tracks, because it's probably a good chance somebody's cooking up for him. And that's why, and I got slammed. I'm gonna go ahead and swap, but I got slammed one video, man. This is like one of the, I'll say the toughest crowds that I've ever had on a video in my life. But I actually dropped a video on Kendrick Lamar and when I think he would respond and just discussing the whole diss and all that stuff, at least from what I know up to that point. And I mentioned that I didn't listen to push-ups. And man, did I get killed in the comments for that. Oh man, how can you give your insight without listening to push-ups and so forth? I probably had like 6 comments on my video about that. And of course, people disliking because they rocking with Drake and all that. But whenever it comes to, the pen, push-ups is a record you could play on a radio. It is. But from a lyrical standpoint, I don't really think it had a lot of substance. Not as deep as how Kendrick Lamar could go. So I disagree with Mace here talking about, from an MC standpoint, Drake is more superior and Drake won this battle. Because compared to Euphoria, Kendrick Lamar, as he noted in his freestyle, it's a friendly spar. He could have went harder, but he didn't. And he just wanted to get some stuff off his chest and he wanted to respond. And this was his way with responding. But he did it so creatively that, it's more of like, I was listening to Euphoria, man, and I just laugh sometimes because it's like, man, that's clever. Like the wordplay in order for him to get off what he had to get off. So, as far as like what Mace is saying here, I disagree. And I don't see how Mace agrees because Mace with his pen, he had an elite pen. You probably still do. I mean, once you got it, you don't lose it. You either got it or you don't. But just the fact that he's siding with Drake, I think is a little bit more behind the scenes stuff going. Of course, Drake pockets is a lot deeper. Drake publicists, they cover a lot of ground. They have a lot of influence and the whole nine. And everybody want to work with Drake. Everybody want to rock with Drake. Everybody want to have Drake on the podcast because it's instant views. It's easy money, the whole nine. But man, right is right, wrong is wrong. And I cannot say that I agree with Mace here. I can't. So go ahead, get back. But go ahead, roll the clip some more.
From an MC standpoint, you know, it took a while for us to get the record from Kendrick, and when you wait a while, it gotta be like out of this world. I think if
wait a while. We waited 17 days for Kendrick. Now, don't get me wrong. Once Drake put the pressure on him, now, and I'm guilty of it. I am guilty of it, but you had a lot of folks saying, hey, Kendrick, we need you to drop. We need that diss track. We need that response. We need it. And he obliged. He didn't do it on our timing. Of course, if it was up to us, he would have dropped that weekend. But his response was faster than Drake's. So I can't say that I agree with Mace here. And that's really what it all comes to with the narratives, right? Rick Ross and Drake was having a back and forth. Rick Ross' take was, you got a BBL, which Kendrick kind of, piggybacked off of a little bit. And the white reference, because Drake is biracial. So, and that's really the best way you could steer the opinions of a lot of people. That's why Kendrick is saying that, hey, we don't want you to say the N-word. We don't, because you're not like us. If you have enough features with black people, you might feel more black, so it's all about narratives with this hip hop thing. And one of Drake's narratives with the tailor-made freestyle was, hey, man, we're waiting on you, man. Come on, hurry up. You're moving slow. And now if you look at the perception of a lot of people in people's minds, they think that Kendrick really took longer to drop than Drake. When if you look at the numbers and the days in between, that wasn't the case. So it's funny how what could be said in the song would spin the mindset of people. But anyway, I'm not going to keep interrupting Mace. Like I said, I got a lot of respect for Mace. Matter of fact, shout out to Mace. But like I said, I can't say that I agree with him on this take right here. So anyway, back to the video.
If Kendrick dropped this record right after dropping Give Me 50, it would have been crazy.
Well, like immediate, not waiting.
If it was immediate, then it would have been crazy. But we waited.
Been a couple weeks. Been a few weeks.
Yeah, to get this pause.
I don't know, man.
What do you think?
I think Drake is winning. Euphoria didn't really, it didn't really move me. I'm not saying, because you know why I'm expecting lyrics from Kendrick Lamar. It isn't like I'm not saying he's a lyricist, so you're expecting certain things, and song was kind of long, took too long to came out, pause.
First of all, why they keep saying pause? I know that's their thing, that's a staple of the show, but come on, man. I mean, we not thinking all that. I say it sometimes, but not as much. They say it every other sentence. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Shout out to Cam too, man. But chill out on the pauses, man. All right, our mind's not in the gutter like that, okay? Just say what you got to say. Get it off. Pause. See what I did there anyway. Let's get back to it.
And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just, if you ask me,
it was a good record. It was a good record, but it was a good record that we waited a while for. We didn't wait a while for a good record.
Sometimes if you wait, you still can pop off. The Oracle came out 2 years later, 4 years later. Shit was hot. Sometimes when you wait, it's still hot though. You waited a couple years and dropped the bomb.
No, that's a good conversation.
Yeah, so how come when you waited, your shit was still hot though? How does that work? How does that work though?
The way it works is. The way it works, like, I mean, us, because you had so much ammunition on me, I had to wait until you say everything you could have said.
I ran out.
I said, this is the last thing.
All right, I'm going to let it play a little bit longer. I think what I needed to get out this video is done, but let's let it play a little bit longer.
This nigga killing.
Yo, I woke up and niggas, I missed man phone call. They like, yo, Murder just dropped a bomb. I said, I heard it. Everybody in my crew panicking. I said, you remember the shoot I know right there.
Nigga different. You know what I'm saying? And when he did the I don't want to hear you say nigga, it was like that was a pause, an angle we already heard before.
Yeah.
No different than when you said Curtis. Like,
yeah, like, oh shit is like, bro. And I was talking to somebody. I'm not saying this rap beef going on right now is not interesting and something entertaining, but
yeah.
you know, when we was doing rap, this is not just me and you, I'm just saying in general, people have the potential to die, like literally, or seriously hurt. And I just don't feel that in these battles. And I'm not promoting that somebody got hurt. I'm happy that somebody might not. Nobody will get hurt. Hopefully nobody will. Yeah. But it just felt like dangerous. This doesn't feel like.
All right. I think I'm gonna wrap it up with this video right here, man. At least with this one, with them talking about their take. So they did make a little bit of a reference to, Kendrick Lamar mentioning like, hey, we don't want to, hear you say the N-word no more. And just quite a few things that Drake kind of hinted that he would, I guess, mention. But you got to think about the time that Cam and Mace rapped compared to now. Back then, the internet was a new thing. Everybody didn't have a computer. On your cell phones, it was a flip phone. You did not have nothing you could do on that cell phone but text, call, leave a voicemail. That's it. Nowadays, you got the internet in the palm of your hands with your cell phones. So any type of information, whether it's alleged, whether it's real factual evidence, you could easily obtain that. Some of the stuff that Kendrick says, some people know that. That's the same angle that Rick Ross just used with his diss tracks, Champagne Moments, and his IG stories. A lot of people in the industry has that opinion on Drake that you don't have the same privileges and words that you could use to describe your counterparts. Like some people don't feel comfortable with that. Personally, me, do I care? Absolutely not. But that's the angle that a lot of people have in the hip hop industry. And Kendrick just alluded to that. As far as the bars go, I think that Kendrick Lamar in Euphoria, he actually had an angle where he was still respecting Drake because that's his peer. But he's a very competitive guy. And that goes all the way back to when he dropped Control. He said, I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you. That's just a Michael Jordan mentality, a Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant mindset that, hey, I have respect for you, but with all due respect, I'm trying to be the best to ever do it. I'm trying to be the best that's doing it. I'm trying to be known as the number one. That's why, whenever Kendrick made that reference and like that, F the big three, it's just big me. It's okay to feel that way. You're supposed to think you are the best, especially if you have the abilities and the skills to back it up. He actually made some references to those things in the song, and I actually got to jot it down because I want to make sure that I go word for word with it. But he said, Cole and Aubrey know I'm a selfish nigga. The crown is heavy. I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly. I mean, hey, that was a hell of a bar right there, bro. Just saying that, hey, man, just let you know, man, I know you're upset at me, but we're friends. For those of y'all that don't know the history between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, they went on tour together. Kendrick, I don't think he has any type of ill will. I think Kendrick started beefing with Drake really more whenever Drake got in his feelings after the Control diss. And then Kendrick Lamar came with the BET Cypher whenever, Top Dog Entertainment did a rap cypher. Just because Drake had feelings, he went ahead and he was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and rap on these feelings. So as far as Kendrick Lamar goes, man, he is, in my opinion, the best in the game. I had J. Cole up there, too. I had J. Cole at 2. I had Kendrick at 1. But after J. Cole bowed out, which in retrospect, looking at it, you know, I actually did a video on that too, but thinking about it, man, respect to J. Cole for doing the mature thing to do. If you're not up for it, you don't feel confident, go ahead and bow out. You want to just stay friends. That's why, you know, Kendrick Lamar saying like, hey, you know, Cole and Arbery, that's my friends. But that YMW Melly bar, for those of y'all that don't know about what YMW Melly did, go ahead and do your research. He's saying that in so many words, somebody gonna get cooked. Somebody gonna get slaughtered. You know, if they ever try to go against him, which, you know, J. Cole, he did, but he reneged. But with that being said, you know, Drake ain't about to bow out. So, and kind of going back, and I know I'm doing a little bit of rambling. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up in a couple minutes, but, you know, just thinking about, you know, whenever Like That dropped, it really set the industry on fire. All right. You had J. Cole. He was solid until 7 Minute Drill. But as far as Drake goes, I don't know if y'all remember, but Drake gave like a little motivational speech. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the screen for y'all to see. But
a lot of people ask me how I'm feeling. I'm going to let you know how I'm feeling. Listen, the way I'm feeling is the same way I want you to walk out of here feeling about your fucking self. Because you know how I'm feeling? I got my fucking head up high, my back straight, I'm 10 fucking toes down in Florida or anywhere else I go, and I know that no matter what, it's not a nigga on this earth that can ever fuck with me in my life. And that's how I want you to walk out of here tonight. But in order to, you know, get yourself all gassed up, riled up, and move towards the future, sometimes you gotta acknowledge the mistakes that you made in the past, right? Right? So this is what I want you to do. Everybody in here.
you know, he made a comment talking about, you know, hey, I'm walking with my chin up high and my back straight, and talking about, you know, nobody could ever mess with me and all that stuff. That was a very emotional take. All right. I got a lot of emotion from that moment when he was on stage. And like with me, man, I don't necessarily say I'm a guy that got a horse in this race. Of course, as far as my tiers go, I got Kendrick #1. I always did. J. Cole 2, Drake #3. I got a lot of love and respect for Drake. I love his music. It's just whenever it comes to hip hop, Kendrick is more true hip hop. Drake, he's more of a pop star. And I think that was really Drake's narrative with Kendrick, saying that, oh, well, I'm a pop star, but you're a pop star too. You got songs with Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift. So what? You got to pay the bill sometimes, man. You know, Taylor Swift, you know, any song she have is going to be a hit. Probably going to be #1, you know, so you got to get that bag. Maroon 5, you know, they got a lot of clout too, so can't knock that. But Drake, man, every single song, one of the albums he did, I can't remember, I think it was Scorpion. That whole thing was a freaking pop album, all right? He had some good songs in there, but that whole freaking thing was a pop album. So that's just my take on the whole thing, man. I know I did a little bit of rambling. I can't say I'm with the disrespect. Kendrick has been getting a lot of disrespect lately. From some people that I know, from some of the OGs in the community. You got to appreciate somebody's pen. You got to appreciate what this is doing to hip hop. Euphoria dropped yesterday. That song got 8.7 million looks just on YouTube. And it's on all the DSPs. He's making bread off of this, all right? Respect the game. Respect the legend. But anyway, appreciate y'all checking out this video. I know it's a little bit on the long side. I'm going to go ahead and try to edit this and get this out. That's just my take on the whole situation. I can't say that I agree with Gilly, Cam, and Mace. I think Kendrick did his thing. Of course, you know Drake. He's going to respond. And Kendrick, since he took it easy on this Euphoria track, he will, listen to me, mark my words, he will be coming back with a response if Drake responds back to him. So let's just go ahead, wait it out, get your popcorn ready. I'm a hip hop fan. I'm here for this, all right? I want this. I think the whole world needs a good back and forth a good sparring between two of the best in the industry, okay? But anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments. I know I may have some hate comments. I may have some people that disagree with me and all that. Whenever it comes to beef like this, it's pretty much down the middle. You know, you got half the people riding with Kendrick, half the people riding with Drake. Personally, I think Kendrick won this round. But anyway, check out one of these other videos. Love you. Peace.